I usually don't talk about like music news and stuff like that. I am a metalhead, kinda. I love metal music. I've always loved metal music my entire life. And I used to love Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine. That was like my high school years. And I never would have thought that they would have been fighting. So let's check out this whole situation from Nick Nocturnal. Trivium x Bullet for My Valentine situation went way too far.
Dude, this is crazy. We're going to talk about the thing. This is, I wish I could decode this one in 5/7/8 because we have some wild metalcore situation here. We have a real metalcore situation going on here. You guys?
Yeah, I was seeing it everywhere. Like every app that I went to for social media, I was seeing articles about this.
You guys might have heard of a little tour that's going on that I'm jealous if you get to go to, by the way, called the Poisoned Ascendancy tour.
Well, they're not going to be going to that anymore.
Which is between two bands celebrating the 20th anniversary, obviously, of their huge albums. Bullet for My Valentine, obviously celebrating the Poison goated record, as well as Trivium celebrating Ascendancy. Again,
honestly, I like Trivium a lot more than Bullet for My Valentine, but I still like Bullet for My Valentine. I can listen to any Trivium album. There's a few Bullet for My Valentine albums that I skip.
And you guys know, look, we talk about modern stuff here. We talk about the heavies. We sometimes talk about random lo-fi beats and pop. My home will always be the 2000s when it comes to 5/7/8. I hear a 5/7/8 and I hear that third harmony. I just get happy. It's what happens to my life. You know what else is awesome? Corkid with our new Corkid Deadweight line. Go pick it up. We have a lot of cool pieces. They're amazing. However, this is a tour where, of course, they first did Europe, and then they also did North America, except Orlando, Depresso Espresso Nick right here. So
those Silosis, or is it Silosis? I like that band. I didn't read what the other one was. That are also on tour with them.
This was the Europe one. Obviously, they were on this tour, and they've kind of been teasing, in a sense, that this tour was eventually going to be worldwide. I get thrown in here a little bit accidentally, right? I love both bands. I've talked to both bands. They're awesome. Have had both Matts on the show. It was great. You know, great conversations. They weren't on the same podcast episode, but they both seemed like really stoked that they were doing the tour. And seemingly, you know, they wanted to do it worldwide, which was great. Like,
worldwide. Wide.
That's amazing, right? People have been, you know, people were a little curious. They were speculating, like, so, like, there hasn't been any more, like, dates announced. Like, you know, it's already May. Like, are you coming to South America? Are you coming, I don't know, Australia? Like, where are you guys going, right? And people were basically curious. Paulo did a little bit of a TikTok live stream. And
I don't like this guy. He basically is the one who started and kept the beef going with Phil Labonte from All That Remains.
This was it.
South America, Australia. Matt Tuck didn't want to do it after we had planned it, after stuff was already in the works. Don't know why. I think it would have been amazing.
I'm assuming this was not supposed to be discussed. So, with that.
Yeah, dude's a douche. He shouldn't have. He's probably the reason this whole situation blew up. He wanted to stir up some trouble and start some drama. I really don't like that guy.
You know, obviously in that TikTok, Paulo's kind of just straight up saying, like, we're not going because of a specific person, which, like, oh, you know, you don't really expect that to be said. But then Paulo made another TikTok on the Trivium. When you make your first TikTok, piss off the other band you're on tour.
What'd they do, though? What'd they do? Like, yeah, you can say, oh, it's because of this one person's this band. Look at him, he's an asshole, he caused this whole thing. But why? What happened? I need to know. I don't think he tells us.
We're with Justice for South America. So they are on tour. I think they're still on tour right now. Like, the last show is tomorrow or something. With Bullet. I ain't getting in the middle of this. They all just need some caipirinhas and they got to get together and figure this out. You know what? I feel like it's like two stepdads fighting right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is a little insane.
I feel like many bands have issues with Trivium. And it's not Matt Hafey. It's like the bassist guy, Paulo, whatever his name is. It seems like All That Remains and Bullet for My Valentine. But did they cancel because of Trivium, or did they just cancel because of other reasons?
This then evolved to people commenting, obviously, on Paulo's next post. And, of course, they're going to the Reddit. I've never seen the Reddit this crazy. The person commented, I get it, but name-dropping Matt wasn't cool, especially if he wasn't there to clarify or why they didn't want to do South America. I understand the frustration, but I feel like this should have been handled behind closed doors. Trivium then responds, I don't know who owns the Trivium socials. Maybe it is Paulo. Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's management. Then said, he's the sole decision maker of the band and has no respect for us and our crew. So that's okay. You see, that's the moment where you're like, oh, we're not going because...
Yeah, bro, this is getting spicy, bro. This is getting real spicy. They're gonna be screaming at each other in metal growls.
the person in the other band didn't want to do it. It probably ends there. All right, like, you know, and I saw that happen and like unfold, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I could see Paolo running the account 100%. I bet he does.
Like, that sucks. Like, I guess, like, you know, they're not doing the tour, right? All right, whatever. I'm pretty sure it was this comment right here that made this, like, a situation, to put lightly. This has kind of just been chilling there. It's been chilling on Reddit until recently. That's when the news articles get...
Is everybody against Paolo? Is Bullet for My Valentine being hailed as the good guys in this situation, even though they're the ones that bowed out? Because, man, why you gotta talk shit?
Get heard of this. Loudwire posts it. Metal Injection posts about it. The Lamb Goats nonstop, and it just goes, right? It's been a little while. Again, like I saw in Reddit too, someone used my podcast episode as like proof. And I was like, guys, look, I'm not fighting between the two dads here. Like, you guys figure this shit the out. This is another TikTok video from Paulo, you know.
Control online, but all I want to say is that Trivium will go to South America with Bullet for My Valentine. Let's book the shows. Let's settle this right. Let's do it for the fans. Trivium, Bullet for My Valentine, South America. Let's go.
Dude,
Why? What is happening here? Is he just trying to stir up drama? I don't understand.
Paulo is f***ing crazy. There's no way Bullet was okay with that. Damn, dude. Has no chill. That's why I don't mind talking about this. I love both of these bands. I don't give a f*** in the sense of, like, I'm not offended. I didn't get to see them in America, so, like, I'm just sad because of that anyways. Usually in the metalcore space, like, you know, our drama or beef is like, who got accused today of, like, a crime? Who doesn't like puppies? You know, like, that's the shit we usually deal with. So it's kind of weird that this is the beef we get now.
And it's completely childish on Trivium's end. Like, Matt Hafey needs to come out and be like, I don't know what the fuck Paulo's on. He needs to get off it, and we're gonna take him off of social media for a little while, because he's just losing it, man. I almost said crashing out, and I fucking hate that phrase. Everybody's using it and using it incorrectly, so I'm done with it. I'm throwing that phrase away.
Band didn't want to do, you know, other shows, and like obviously, you know, it affects the other bands and that people want to go see them, but like, and that's where I got caught up with what was happening. Bullet made this post 14 minutes ago. Hey guys, Bullet here. As we head into the final shows of the Poisoned Ascendancy tour, we want to thank everyone who's come to celebrate us. The shows have been phenomenal, and we love connecting with every single one of you. Being in this band is the most important thing for the four of us. We're incredibly grateful to have been given a chance to look back at the pair of life-changing albums for us and Trivium, who we have nothing but respect and admiration for. To have a career spanning over 20 plus years is incredible achievement, and we all understand the dedication and sacrifice that comes with that. Celebration of both these albums have been a career highlight for us, and there's 5 shows left out here in the US, and then we embark upon a full month of summer festivals in June, which we're really looking forward to. With that being said, the four of us collectively feel that the time is right for us to divert our full attention towards the next chapter of Bullet. We can't wait to get back in the studio later this summer and finish what we promise you is our best album to date. To go along with this, we're already starting to make plans for 2026 and 2027 touring cycle, hitting every corner. We're excited to drop new music for you. We value the fans above all else, and we're grateful forever for your support. We'll be back very soon. I'm assuming what has happened is they had a very big, ambitious plan for a big tour, a world tour, but also Bullet is mid-album writing cycle. And with the festival season obviously being the summer, they probably were like, wait, what the f***? We don't have any time to finish our album. And if we don't finish our album, then we won't get to, I don't know, I'm assuming they'll probably want to tour on the album as soon as possible. I think that became very real for Bullet as they were touring.
It seems like they're rushing things and that it's going to be a mid-album. That's what, you don't need to rush things. Just have fun. Just let things be. Seems like they're trying to rush out an album so they can have the perfect album release so they can make as much money as possible.
I had to make assumptions again. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I'm not the guy to ask for that. So now, again, Matt posted this video.
You know, they've got other plans to do a record. So I respect that. I respect the fact that things change. And I think we definitely need all of us, let's pull back on the negative stuff. You know, let's go back to remembering what we all love, and that's loving bands and loving music. And sometimes sometimes plans change, and sometimes that causes headaches and disagreements. And it's like anything in life. It's like a relationship. It's like with your family. It's like with your coworkers. It's like any of that stuff.
But
See, Matt Hafey, that's how you should have fucking done it. That's how they should have done it to begin with. Let Matt Hafey do all of the talking. Let him do all the PR. Because Paolo is fucking terrible at it. Get him off of social media. What the hell are you doing?
I'm assuming too, like if you're planning a whole world tour, like you're also planning, you know, jobs for everybody for the year. So I can understand how that's like incredibly frustrating if all of a sudden that doesn't happen. Like it, again, this is one of those situations where like it's shitty, obviously. I'm a massive fan of both of these bands, dude.
If Paulo would have left it alone, then it would have all just been on Bullet for My Valentine. But since he had to be a dick about it, he could have just been cool and been like, well, it sucks. You know, but, you know, plans change like Matt Hafey did. Everything would have been cool and everybody would have disliked Bullet for My Valentine. But he had to give his 2 cents and pull his dumbass loud mouth into it and just completely blow everything out of proportion.
They didn't have an Orlando, Orlando or whatever anyway. So it was like, okay, world tour, they're already here, right? For me, that didn't affect me necessarily, but that they're not going. But obviously, like I said, you know, if you have these plans to these big things, I think just, you know, shit happens. People really want to go see this. This is like, you know, once in a lifetime thing, like Ascendancy and the Poison together. That's insane, dude. That's awesome. And I totally understand the frustration, obviously, from fans worldwide that won't be able to see that together. I understand the frustration from all, you know, the crew. I could see the frustration a little bit too from Matt. Like, I have mad respect for Matt too. You tell he's being very diplomatic and like, look, guys, like, just chill. We've let it out. We've let out our issues. That's it. Like, the situation's the situation. So just go with that. Like, we talked about this tour when it was announced like a year ago. Like I said, and then I had the podcast episode with Matt Hafey, and then a separate one with Matt Tuck. Like, I've talked to both of them about this specific tour, and then that's the only reason, again, I felt the need to even bring it up is because I was specifically referenced. I was thrown into this by Reddit. I was like, okay, like, thanks Reddit. I appreciate it for using me as a source to fuel your guys' animalistic craziness. I love it. Bands will love to come on my pod.
Everybody's addicted to drama. Everybody's addicted to causing drama, being part of drama, clout chasing. Paolo's probably the worst in the whole metal scene at this, and he's got the loudest mouth. I don't like him. Phil Labonte doesn't like him. That's probably why I don't like him, because I'm huge fan of All That Remains. One of my favorite bands of all time. Definitely my favorite metalcore band. I like All That Remains more than I like Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine combined, but I still love Trivium, if that tells you how much I like All That Remains. Like, they're in my top 10. And I'm a fan of Timcast. So it's crazy how those two things came together. This whole situation was crazy. Buy a t-shirt down there in the description. I'm out.